Hey everybody, welcome back to more Dark Cloud 2. I'm Kyle Snow, and we are finally into Chapter 2. Now, we have the ability to switch between Max and Monica, and not just be like one fucking person. We've also got the ability to add third characters to our party. You can't actually play as them. And yeah, that's supposed to be a dude, despite clearly having a feminine voice and some androgynous features. And they can do things either in or out of combat to help you. So, I like every time I get a chance, I like to go to Eric, having them make us some bombs, and then you can fucking go back to the train, because you're basically useless now. If I remember correctly, Borneo has some useful abilities. Better items. This doesn't actually stop them from doing their shit like they're supposed to be doing while they're here, so I'm not really worried about it. He just has passive ability to give you more items, which I am on board with. And you can do the same thing with Cedric, but if I remember correctly, outside he just has the ability to bonus points with weapon parts and upgrades. Ooh. Yeah, maybe we'll take him instead. That sounds way more useful, because I think that means bonus synthesis points. Yeah, and he can also do a couple things actively while we're in combat. So yeah, we'll take Cedric with us. And now we'll head into Sindane. We do have a couple of cutscenes coming up, some info dumpy stuff. And I'm going to be honest, this early part of this chapter, not my favorite part of the game, but you'll see.
What's that? It's a house all by itself.
It's
Weird. Let's check it out.
a little anime fucking ridiculous. And not necessarily in a way that I think has aged particularly well.
Someone's there.
Wow.
Ah!
What is it? What do you two want?
Hey, you're from the Furbit tribe of Sindane, aren't you? It's so cute, all curly and everything.
I usually, you know,
Hey!
don't pull on strangers' mustaches before meeting them for the first time.
There's something I want to ask you, okay?
That's a power move, though.
Is how you ask a favor?
Apparently.
Sorry.
Ow! 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 Oh!
Have you heard of a being here named Jurak?
I can't believe that didn't work.
So mad.
Yeah, me too, Monica. Me fucking too. Max, come on. Like, your guys' social skills, not up to par.
Nobody's home.
We just saw you run inside, and you
I
just
hear
answered
Furbits
us.
are crazy about grape juice. And we brought all this grape juice too. Now what are we gonna do? If he won't let us in, I guess we'll just have to throw it away.
Obvious plot is obvious.
Come in.
Hey, it worked.
Like, guys, let's... Come on. I know that you're the size of a child, but you have a fucking mustache. I expect you to be a little more intelligent than that.
Wow, look at that. 3 of them. What? Oh, you want the grape juice, huh?
That we don't have. This is a terrible bluff.
Well, it'll cost ya. Let's see. I've heard you Furbits have a mysterious magical power to make things like houses and plants.
Well, What are you getting at?
I want you to use that power to help us.
Help you?
You probably know there's something strange going on. The whole world has become like one big deserted island. Everything's disappeared. At this rate, there won't be anything left in the future. I want you to use your building power.
I like how
to
she's just
rebuild the town in this
bittying
time.
about, like, the future stuff, like it's a normal thing to talk about.
Too much work. Besides, we got no time for that, so just run along now, will ya?
What do you mean you don't have time for that?
Even if I told you, it wouldn't change a thing. Hold on, Rococo. Okay, you two, I think I understand. Come on over here and have a seat. The name's Conda. This here's Rococo. And this is Tobo. Pleased to meet you.
You're not gonna need to remember any of their names. They're not really that important. I'm the leader.
Veronica,
I'm Max. Nice to meet you.
you know there's something wrong with the world, right? A great darkness is trying to distort the flow of time.
I was beginning to wonder about what was happening to our forest. Of course, I'd like to help out, but... to be honest, we're in a bit of a fix ourselves. Even if we wanted to, we can't help it till we solve our own problems.
What's wrong? Tell us about it.
It's a long story, but it must have been about a year ago or so. One day, a beautiful woman got lost and wandered in here. We don't like humans too much, so we approached her carefully.
Okay, well, that's a little racist.
Humans are crafty, cunning creatures. That's how we've always thought of you.
Still a little
This woman
racist.
was different, she was. Her soul was more beautiful than words can describe. Said her name was Holly. I had a feeling that wasn't her real name, but that didn't matter a bit. During the few days and weeks she was with us, she wove a sort of spell over us all. She had us in the palm of her hand. Then, one day out of the blue, something happened. Holly left to search for food and just disappeared into the forest, never to return. A few days went by and still no Holly. We were so sad. It was like our hearts had been broken into a million little pieces. There was no way we could go on without her. In those few short weeks, she had become an essential part of our lives. She was part of us all.
So you guys are like that guy who, like, starts dating somebody and then
So we formed
you,
the
you
search
start talking
party
about
to
getting
search
married
for
within like
Holly.
5 seconds. Like, let's tone it back a bit, guys.
A party of 4 set out for Rainbow Butterfly Wood, where she disappeared that day. But those 4 haven't come back yet either. I was sure I picked the most able-bodied of our tribe, but they turned out to be a bunch of goofs. So basically, at this point in time, I'm afraid we can't help you 2 out. You want us to use our special powers to help you, but the thing is, all 7 of us have to be here in order for it to work. Besides, we're really not in a helping mood. I'm pretty sure you understand.
So,
That's
just to
quite a story.
tick in the timeline, a year ago, she showed up for a couple weeks, and when she disappeared,
I
you
bet
sent out a
I
couple
can
more
guess.
guys, and then they haven't come back
You want us
in
to go
almost a
into the woods
year,
and find your
and
4
nobody
friends?
else went out to look.
You mean you'll help us?
Like, they might be dead.
Keep an eye out for Holly?
They've been missing for at least like 11 months. Like, let's fucking...
I understand. 4 or 5, what's the difference? So what does this Holly look like?
1
anyway?
is the difference,
Any
Monica.
special features?
Special features, let me see. Must have been something. Her hair. It was long, I think. No, wait. Maybe it was short. I think.
Thought she was super important. Can't remember what she looks like.
Wait, that's it. The potato pies used to make were the greatest.
That's not going to really be an identifying feature on site, sir.
That's right. They were mighty tasty. Yeah, incredible.
Forget it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Monica.
Potato pie?
And that's a weird thing to put in a pie, but sure.
reminded me of the potato pies you made for me when I was a kid. They were so warm, eating them would always cheer me up. The most delicious potato pies in the whole world.
I mean, your sample size was probably not very big, Max, but sure.
Could it be the Holly that the Furbits talked about was actually you, Mother? Just thinking that made my heart beat faster. This was the other reason that I wanted to see the world, so that I could find you again, Mother. Even though the world had been laid waste, I had a feeling that you were out there. Somewhere.
It's just beyond here. Lately there seem to be some nasty monsters living in these parts. Watch yourselves now.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We got this.
Legend has it that in these woods lives a mysterious rainbow-colored butterfly. And anyone who lays eyes upon that butterfly never leaves the woods again. You know, I wonder if Holly and the search party we sent out went and accidentally found themselves that rainbow butterfly. Just be careful not to run into that rainbow butterfly.
Good, thanks.
What do you mean, be careful? What could we possibly do to prevent it?
If that happens,
If that happens?
just pretend you didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Huh? Well, whatever. Okay, we're off.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with Monica. Like, well, that was fucking stupid, but sure.
What's this?
It's the Furbit's favorite thing in the world, grape juice. If you have this with you, those guys just might smell you and come running.
Would like to point out, we never had to pay for that lie about the grape juice.
Okay, I got you. Thanks, Conda.
They didn't notice that we just didn't give them any,
I'll be here waiting for you. I wish you good luck.
which was, you know, convenient for us. Alright. Glad that we're done with that, because that sequence... pretty fucking tedious. I just feel like everyone involved is kind of an idiot. Nobody comes out of that interaction looking like a smart person, so... But hey, now we actually get to go into the fucking woods, and we get to see what Monica can do in combat, outside of, like, one-off fight in a mansion with some bullshit. So yeah, you can switch between them interchangeably, and now, if you get knocked out, where... They give me armband repair powder. I'm fucking blind. If you get knocked out, you have resources. You can play as the other character. You have 2 health bars to work with now. It's kind of convenient. Monica obviously has swords instead of wrenches, which are better at fighting certain enemies than wrenches are. Swords and wrenches both have the same resource for reparation. It's just regular repair powders. Her armband is not, though. Like, it has its own set of repair powders that are different from the gun ones. And yeah, she's a little bit better at fighting, like, plant life. Like, they kind of tailored the forest to be a little bit more of her thing than Max's, which makes sense because, you know, we just had an entire area of Max. Let's get to see a little bit about what the new one can do. That's just at the start of the game, obviously. Like, again, there will be certain things that will just objectively, or will ordinarily be better to fight with swords over wrenches. But, you know, if you put no exorcism points into Monica later in the game, and you put a bunch into Max, he'll be better at fighting undead skeletons, even if the sword is better. The stats on them might not be the case. There we go. She also starts with more health than he does, which is nice. Get fucked! Her charge up attack's also pretty rad. The jump in the air and then shockwave by putting your sword into the ground, which would never work in real life, but it's cool as fuck, so I'm just gonna let it happen. Ah, just shy of a level up. It's always the worst feeling in games when you're just like one like tick off of leveling up or whatever, and you just have to go do a thing to, you know, go get it. Like, it's not as bad in games like this, but like in, you know, when you're missing it like from an encounter and you're like, alright, cool, I guess I'll just go fight one thing to get it up. So what do we got to work with here? Smash and Beast or Cyclone and Exorcism. So Smash and Beast are kind of what Max is good at fighting. So Cyclone and Exorcism might not be the worst plan. We're literally fighting skeletons right now, so I'm going to say that that one crystal probably going to come in handy. And getting little cyclones not going to hurt. Oh, I'm poisoned. Shit. Okay, that could have gone poorly. So yes, now now we can see Bread restores a maximum of 32 hit points. Her armband, unlike the gun, also has a charge to it. So the longer that you hold it in, the more damage it'll do on release. It also has kind of a neat effect where, like, you see that it looks like fire coming out of it right now. Whichever of the, like, regular elements it has the highest point value into, it'll look like that. Jesus fuck. Let's calm it with this shit. I'm being greedy. I need to stop being greedy. Sea Dragon Crystal. That'll give me scale. Get fucked. Fucking Christ. Okay. Backing the fuck up. This early in the game, trying to get the wrist or the armband up is difficult because it's super weak, and unlike the gun has a much lower, you know, cast time, if you will. There we go. Also, you don't have to do any charging at all, but like the release time where you're vulnerable is a little bit longer too than. There we go. Flame or Cyclone. Well, Flame's one that I have on hand. And, you know, in the forest, that's probably going to come in handy. Fighting a bunch of woodland things. And now we just need a little attack. So we get to put whatever else we want into it. It's always nice to have options. There we are. Oh yeah, we still got tons of stuff left. Yeah, the underground channel is a little bit of a smaller dungeon by comparison, to be sure. Later on, start to take a little more time to get through. As you also get to kind of start opening up and having a little bit more choice made as well in games, it gets a little bit more interesting what kind of directions you can go in with things. Weapon customization is one of the aspects of this game that I like quite a bit, because it feels really rewarding when you get to something that you... let me open the chest. It was a poison trap. Ooh, those are... Wow, that one roasted chestnut's pretty useful, but it's fine. It's a good thing we had 5 antidotes on hand. I got poisoned a lot, which I was not expecting to, but that is one of the downsides of trying to greed for getting points into your armband early on. It's really a terrible weapon. I can't stress that enough. There is nothing... Oh, here we go, okay. Oh, really wanted that last one to hit. That would have been so fucking rad. And yes, skeletons can do that. Where you'll knock them to 0 hit points, and then they'll go down and come back up with a little bit left. Because, you know, skeletons. Cool. I'm out of exorcism-related activities, but... This early in the game, trying to keep up on stuff like that is difficult. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, we are getting gangbanged here. You know what? This might not be a bad time to toss in a little bit of... Babs, chill out! A little bit of Ride Pod. Everything just gets one shot. They were not prepared for this. Let's hope that the exorcism points that I've added here are going to be in any way effective. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, that was terrifying. We good. We got this. Lightning crystals, very nice. So one of the things too is like I'm gonna sit on those synthesis points for a little bit because one, I know that there's a cache of things coming in very soon. Which might have the ones we need, and 2, later in the game, it can get very difficult to get levels into your weapons as you upgrade them, and it feels awful to get 2 points out of a synthesis points where something instead of 3. It really can make a difference for you taking longer and longer, and it just gets perpetually worse. So, if I can, I like to not do that.
Looks like we got 'em all.
If we, you know, struggle to find what we need, I will open myself up to doing it, of course, but... It's not really, ideal. And as I said, like, they do give you a little bit of a nice little cache there coming up in not very long, so... I'll start considering alternative options if we don't find what we need there. Or before then. We could always run across these things in the forest. Now we just have to make our way to the exit. So yeah, Monica's pretty good. just having the two characters is kind of nice. They do each have their own, like, you know, multiple weapons, so it's kind of, there's still a little bit of that, like, full party feel without having to worry about micromanaging a bunch of characters. First game had 6, each of them with 1 weapon, and it could get pretty tedious. Especially if they'd, like, make it so that you could only pick one character. Babs, calm the fuck down! And then you, and it was like, oh, okay, well, this one's a melee character, and I have to fight air enemies. That fucking sucks. But here it's like, well, maybe I have to use Max or have to use Monica, but at least I have options to attack from range or from melee with both of them. It's a nice little change. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this episode, everybody. I know we're a little bit under 30 minutes, but I'm not feeling great today, so I'm just going to call it here.